105 days until my daughter's wedding. The clock is ticking. Today, I just got the ultimate green light. Welcome back to Chucking the Weight. So today, as I discussed, I was going to my doctor's office. Did that after work. Set this appointment I set up several days before I started the 110-day run. I had to start the run because I picked 110 days before I could meet with the doctor. And I was kind of wanted to get in early to share what I decided to do, and I wasn't sure it was good or not. But what I did is I went to ChatGPT, and I typed in very simply, what are the macros for a 57-year-old man weighing 280 pounds to lose weight safely and quickly? And it spit out a bunch of stuff. It spit out the macros, how much protein, how many carbs, and what the percentage of fat was. And to my surprise, there was a lot of protein. Maybe not so surprised about the protein. Maybe a little more surprised about the fat being more than the carbs. And I really, like I said, a little bit of confusion not being a dietitian, not being a doctor, not being a weight management specialist. I needed to have some approval. I just didn't want to do something that was going to be counterproductive to me, to my health. So off to the doctor I went. I met with their dietitian and a weight management specialist they have on staff. They went through what I handed to them. They discussed with me all of what it meant, and trust me, I heard it. I pretended to be like, oh, that sounds great. A lot of what they were saying was a little bit over my head. Again, not my field. But they explained the protein is higher to maintain your muscle mass as you're going through something like this, so you're not depleting your muscle mass down. They told me the fat, but I thought what I took out of what I thought was interesting was the fat is really good for your brain functioning, which I thought was pretty interesting. They actually mentioned dementia in that. I was talking about cholesterol levels and things of that nature, and where they were, and I discussed with them about that, which I thought was interesting. And then that the carbs were a lower level, and it wasn't there's different types of carbs, obviously, and they talked about the list of good carbs, gave me that list, but why that was so low, and some in the connection with insulin. Told them I just got off the Coke Zero. Funny, they asked if I had a headache. I told them yes. I told them I would stop drinking a beer for until the wedding, and any alcohol. And they were proud about that, and they were just, they said that was a sugar thing. So the fun part about this, the verdict's in. I'm not guessing anymore. I got a roadmap now to June 26th, and it's a roadmap I can take on the road with me. And since I'm hitting the road, flying out to Chicago, it's nice to have at least some direction, at least some approval to do that. And now it's how do you fit it in? So feeling pretty psyched about the fact that I got the approval. Confidence is high. I'm just hoping, I'm not hoping, I know I'm going to pull this off on the road. It's just how to pull it off on the road. So I'll figure out, typically on the road for me is you're eating burgers, you're eating pizza, it's basically grab and go. You're in a hotel room for 3-4 days at a time or longer. You sometimes not be able to cook for yourself. It's just, how that is. I mean, it's just you're on the road, you do what you do. So this gives me a little bit more focus. I feel fairly confident with what I printed out on ChatGPT, which is a lot of stuff. I mean, there's a lot here to go through. I showed them the macros, and I showed them my rotating schedule for 110 days for the wedding. And it's just what I did is I got 3 meal plans to rotate for breakfast, 3 meal plans to rotate for lunch, and 3 meal plans to rotate for dinner. That's what I asked ChatGPT for. And I showed them those meal plans, and they loved them. They said these are really good. You can actually intermix them, one for dinner, one could be breakfast, one could be rotated into dinner. I was like, yeah, I like that idea. I've been doing that. So, and they're pretty excited that anybody would take the initiative just to use AI, search this out, bring it to them. I think they're more excited I brought it to them so they could look at it and give me some suggestions and get the opportunity to approve it. So that approval, and I'm hitting the road, I feel pretty good about things. So I'll see you on the road. Have a great day. Get out, move. If you're interested in what I'm doing or you're interested in ChatGPT uh, diet, quote unquote, search. It's not a bad thing to do, but again, my suggestion, not a doctor, not a dietitian, my suggestion is if you do it, it's probably good to go see your doctor and make sure it's the right thing for you. What I'm doing might not be good for you, and that's just a legit. I asked that question. I said I told them I put together this YouTube channel to keep myself accountable. They're excited about that, and but basically I said I'm not making any suggestions to anybody online because I don't feel like what I'm eating could be the right thing for somebody else, and they agreed that whatever I'm doing is good for me. They're going to monitor it. I see them again in a month and a half. So just as a suggestion, if you do this, I would just take it to your doctor. It doesn't take much time, and have them take a look at it, prove it for you, maybe help you modify it. Again, have a great day. See you on the road.